welcome to your magical messaging and mindset tip with Christine Collins. Hey there, it's Christine Collins, and a lot of times we hear the word mindset, and sometimes we'll even hear the word messaging in conjunction with being an entrepreneur, creating content, and overall managing our business. But these terms get thrown around and often are not fully explained in a way that actually makes sense to our day in and day out experiences, tasks, and focuses. So to just boil it down quickly for us, all that mindset means is it's just an outlook. It's just a perspective. And here's the really interesting thing. It can change like the weather. So it's not as though you get a solid mindset and then you have that to go and that's just what you have and you're stuck with it for the rest of your life. That's definitely not how it works at all. It is more like your mood, your vibe, your outlook, the way that you are looking at the world, the glasses that you're peeking through, if they tend to be rosy tinted or not. And ultimately, it just has to do with how you feel and think about yourself and the world around you, your experiences in the world. So that perspective can change day to day, hour to hour, minute to minute, based on how you're thinking and feeling about various different things. And so that means that it can change on its own sometimes through external things happening, but we also can influence and change our mindset in terms of how we choose to look out at the world and the lens we choose to look through. And most importantly, it's really tied to what we believe is possible. So for example, if you believe that it is possible for you to succeed at a particular thing, it's much easier for you to go and take the steps that you need to take to get that thing to happen. So let's say it's something you've done a million times, you do it every day, something like eating your lunch or brushing your teeth. It's something that you know how to do. You've had a history of success with doing it. And so there's not very much angst around that activity for you. Your mindset is rather positive, at least in terms of your ability to do the thing. However, there are things that we may not have ever done, or we've attempted them and not had good results. It could be anything like running a webinar or trying to make a sale with a particular product or service and noticing through repeated efforts that we're not seeing the results that we're hoping for. And that can lead to our mindset concluding that it doesn't work for us, we can't be successful, there's something wrong, whether it's a miss with our skills or the product or service itself or the way that we're marketing things. And now the connection that this all has to our message, which is just our communication with our audience and interpersonal communications with other people. The message is almost more like the tone. It's more about how it makes the reader or receiver feel on their end. And so it's less about the content itself. Like when we talk about content, we think about things like telling a story, creating a video, creating a tip, doing a sales promotion. There are these different types of content, but your message is the tone. It is ultimately how you're making the receiver feel towards you and towards your work as a whole. And it really can convey our personality. It can convey that we're funny or we're compassionate or we're empathetic or we're intellectual and inquisitive. It sort of captures a mood within our content, and that goes beyond just I'm providing a tip or I'm providing this or I'm offering this promotion or this offer. It's really like, what is the tone of your offer or your tip? Is it kind of fun and playful and whimsical, or is it pretty serious and pretty businesslike and professional? So what is the message? And then what is kind of like the overall short version of what you do, what you're passionate about, what your work entails, your reason for doing it, and who you're helping and why. So it's kind of like this encompassing thing that all comes through into our content. And the interesting thing about it is that our mindset really, really influences the tone of our message. So if you are carrying around a mindset that is very optimistic, you have a very strong belief that you will succeed, that the things that you're selling or that you're offering to the world are very good quality, that they are valuable to the people that you're offering them to, your message comes across as confident and optimistic and believing that this is really valuable, and it conveys that in an undertone without you having to say, hey, this is really valuable. It's just there. It's naturally built in, and it's inherent because your mindset will show through. And by the same token, if your mindset is, things don't really work for me, or I'm not very good at this, or the stuff I'm trying to sell is not very good, it will come through as well in your message without you saying words that specifically articulate that mindset. It comes through in the way that you talk, in the way that you talk to people, in the way that you speak, whether it's in written form or on video or audio, the way that you talk about your work, the passion or lack thereof, the confidence or lack thereof is very noticeable to the receiver. And it will influence them and influence the way that they think and feel about that work. And so what we do for ourselves as entrepreneurs and business owners is to set ourselves up with both mindset and the message in terms of really being aligned, really being self-attuned, taking good care of ourselves, grounding, centering, and kind of coming into each moment that's important with the most grounded, centered, aligned, and ultimately optimistic version of ourselves that we're capable of bringing forward. And that will ultimately make a big impact in the nature of our message. And we can do that in a variety of ways. There are lots of tools obviously available for self-care, for mindset, for grounding, and for various mindset rituals. As you may know, I am very familiar and excited about tools like hypnosis because it allows us to do many different things simultaneously, including to build up our confidence, to build up our belief system in ourselves, our confidence in our success and our ability to do things, and in the value and worth of what we're offering, as well as provides us a nice creative rest, a beautiful little balm of relaxation, and taking us into the gorgeous alpha brainwave, sometimes the theta brainwave, which are brainwaves in which we are more deeply relaxed, more creative, more capable of kind of setting aside our cynical, skeptical mind, the part of us that it has filled with self-doubt and worrying that this isn't going to work out and I'm not really very good at this, and all of those concerns kind of take a back seat so that we can tap into our confident self, our creative self. And that's often when we come up with our most exciting and useful ideas for our business or life in general. And now the third part of this is that every day is different. Life has ups and downs. And so while we may create a mindset routine or routine in terms of taking care of our content and our messaging, we do need to be flexible. We need to allow for variability. Some days we don't feel well. Some days we're more tired. Some days there are things going on in our external world, our personal world, or even in the business world that influence our capacity to do the different things that we intend to do. So that's why I kind of recommend having like your ideal mindset routine, but then also having kind of like your minimum viable day. Like on a good day, maybe on even an average day, the ideal would be to get up and do 15 minutes of meditation or hypnosis or whatever that looks like for you. It could be physical exercise. Some people like to take a walk in nature and meditate while they're walking. So there's lots of ways to do this. And then maybe there's something you do for yourself midday. It could be a cup of tea. It could be a walk. It just depends on what your world looks like. So I'm definitely not here to tell you that there's a prescribed way to do this, because there's lots of options and variability that you can create for yourself. But having an understanding of, if I had the time that I needed, this is what the day would look like, and here's where I would plug in mindset rituals that support my capability of showing up confident, optimistic, and well slept, and being my best self, being my most compassionate, empathetic, and connected self. Here are the things that I do to take care of myself in the right way so that I can show up in that way in my business and for other people. And then also having the option for, it's a crap day, I woke up tired, I didn't sleep well, I don't feel well, I am extra busy, I have too many things, oops, I accidentally overscheduled myself, and normally I try to keep buffers, in between things so that I don't get frantic and hectic. But if you have a day that's just an off day for you for whatever reason, what's that minimum viable thing that you need to keep your mindset going, like as a maintenance for yourself? So for me, I have certain things that are kind of non-negotiable, even on the days when things feel scattered or out of order or extra busy. And again, I'm not here to tell you to do it the way I do it. So you have to figure out what that looks like for you. It could be that 10 minutes in the morning, that is the minimum. Or if you are having a morning where for whatever reason that wasn't possible, 10 minutes somewhere in your day, meditation, hypnosis, yoga nidra, whatever that looks like for you. Something for self-care, something to boost your mindset, to boost your mood, to get you feeling good and excited and at least a moderate level of happy. We're not always like way up here, of course we fluctuate, but to just get you almost like at a baseline. And so the goal here is not perfect routine every single day. It's to have an understanding of homeostasis and that baseline to keep for yourself, to keep you kind of moving forward. And it's okay that we're going to have off days sometimes. And that's the third portion, which is being capable of being flexible, of morphing and shifting and bending as we go through life, as we go through a day or a week or a month, being able to adapt and not just drop the mindset ritual and just forget about it completely, or drop the content and messaging things that we're building in terms of being consistent, figuring out ways to make it easier to maintain, having the ideal and then having your minimum viable thing that you're doing, and accepting it, like forgiving yourself for the days when you're not able to get to the stuff that you normally want to for whatever reason, because that will make it easier for you to bounce back tomorrow. The first thing that starts to happen when we beat up on ourselves and we experience all that flood of cortisol of shame and guilt and oops, I didn't do it, and oh my gosh, I can't believe I skipped that, I can't believe I didn't get it done. It is not helpful in terms of keeping the consistency of any habit. We are much better off rewarding with dopamine or whatever thing that you're using, rewarding yourself for the days that you do get it done and that you have that consistency. And there's lots of ways, of course, to reinforce that with your own version of rewards. And we all experience rewards differently. So again, I can't tell you if it's going to be this or that that's going to work for you. For some people, it's I got myself a little gift or a special food or a special treat or extra 10 minutes of reading a book or a swim or a walk. Like there's all different kinds of ways that we can reinforce our own behavior with a reward system for doing the things that get us closer towards our goals and towards the person that we want to be. And if you find that you would benefit from being supported through better holding to some of these mindset messaging and morphing routines and practices, I do offer a membership that encompasses much of this. So it includes tools like hypnosis, yoga nidra, EFT tapping, all three of which are incredibly powerful tools for managing anxiety and stress, boosting your confidence, your self-assurance that's going to come out into your message, transforming beliefs. If you have any old lingering thoughts in there from a long time ago, someone told you weren't good enough at something, we can transform those with these tools like hypnosis, but also getting you into these alpha and theta brainwaves that allow for more creativity, better problem solving, and ultimately rejuvenation as well. So tools like hypnosis and yoga nidra are wonderful if you have not had a good night of sleep, if you are feeling a little bit down, your mood, your vibe is a little bit off or low. It can actually help to rejuvenate you and provide some restoration that you need in order to continue on with your day. There are also tools like visualization, which is very, very powerful in terms of mindset and in terms of helping us to build the psychological structures to believe that something is possible for us by beginning to visualize some of the end outcomes in terms of the emotional results. And by practicing doing things in your mind's eye, there's quite a bit of evidence that it's actually getting recorded in a similar way as a memory, as if you'd already done it. And so you're really building that foundation to do that task, to complete that goal and achieve that thing. And so, of course, as always, if you have questions, please feel free to get in contact with me. If you'd like to see more about me or the work or the different tools and resources I offer, you can always check that out further at transformcreate.com. And until we connect the next time, I wish you the most magical and creative rest of your day. Thanks for listening. This is Christine Collins at transformcreate.com.